Good morning everyone and welcome back to Mr. Bravo's workshop. I've just gone down to the local hobby shop and I've got a little bit more red and I was mixing it up and I did spill some, which is the whole reason why I do it here. And I'm now about ready to put the red on after we did that line yesterday. So I'll get the spray gun set up and we'll get ready to put the red on. I just wanted to mention as I'm cleaning the gun out, just with all camo, always try and do the light colour first, which is why we did the white. Not that this one's really camouflaged, but obviously anything white or light and dark, the white's going to get hammered. So we did the white first. We'll do the red next as a secondary colour, and there's not much of this to go on. I did mix a whole amount for other ships and other bits and pieces. So, and then we're going to add on what was to be black, but it's no longer black. I'm going to add the LP60. It's got a very unusual colour to it, quite nice. It's very dark, got a strange tinge to it, and we'll see how that goes. So I've got my paint all mixed up now. I've just finished cleaning the gun. It's all loaded up and ready to go. And what I'll do now, I'll move the ship, the sub, around the right way for where we want the red. So there's our sub. We pretty much only want to spray from about here back and all the way around and on top of the fins on that way. And I'll get the plan just to quickly show you. So there's the plan showing the red underneath the line. We've already got the white line covered, so we don't have to worry about that. So we're now just going to put the red on and then we'll mask off what we want to keep of the red, and then we'll spray our dark colour. We do need to be careful of this little piece just here because he does go past the nose. So we'll just work out where he is. There's that square there, which we can clearly see. So let's just give this whole nose piece here a bit of a dust coat and we'll see how we go. Okay, so we just want a very light dusting on this, just for now. On top of the wings there, somewhere there where that square was. We'll come around, we'll come around this way, and then we'll give a dust coat that way. Should have done it back a little more. So there we have our dust coat. I'll just put a little bit more on the right hand fin over here and a bit more on that other square that we need to keep as well. And I'll do that on the other side. So there's our second kind of coat, and I probably put it on a little heavy because I did notice it was struggling to cover the white, like the white was trying to pop through. So I gave it a slightly heavier coat, so we'll give that extra time to dry, and then obviously we'll come back and put a third coat on it. So I just put the last coat on and I went over and I made sure that the squares here, which you may or may not be able to see in the light, oh yeah, there it is. The squares covered in, and around the other side, squares covered in. Actually, we'll come back and give that just another quick little blast. I think we missed one corner there. So there, and what's going on there? And the nose is pretty good. So just Yeah, I like to spray fairly heavy. I like the way that you put it on fairly heavy and then just do those fins again. How's that little square going? Pretty good. That one there. Pretty good. And there we have it. I don't think it'll need any more than that. What you're sort of seeing there is you're seeing the glistening from the wet paint down to, and this is matte paint, so this should dull right off. Actually, if you've watched my HMS series, this is the same hull colour as that. I was really happy with the way it came up when I put the varnish on it, and I'll do the same on this one here. So about half an hour has passed now. I can see it sort of dulled off a bit. You may or may not notice that because it was wet the last time I switched this on, and now it's now fairly dry. Pretty happy with that. Looks pretty good. I'm not after super shiny. I'm not after super dull. So very happy the way that looks. So what we'll do now is we need to wait many, many hours. Let this go right off because we need to put tape right over this red on what we're going to keep. So probably I'll leave this for now and I'll come back probably in about 12 hours, to be honest. And just like that, it has been 12 hours since our last video. Good morning, everyone. It is 7 o'clock and I've just spent probably an hour doing some videoing and just bits and pieces and editing and some mail. Okay, so where are we? We are right here, back at the sub. So yesterday we painted this and we decided to give it a good 12 hours. I didn't want to go too close to this line, but the other line is fairly close and the white was sort of trying to pop through. So I gave it a little bit heavier than what I wanted. But we definitely got rid of the white. So that was the main thing there. So where are we today? So we now have to cover up all the red stuff that we want to keep. And the little squares there, the red stuff, the bottom of the fins, because we are going to paint the top of the fins black. That in itself is a little bit of a challenge. Yeah, so what we're going to do now is I'm just going to prepare this for the next colour. So there's the submarine up a little bit closer, and now you can see these lines that we want to keep. So we want to keep that line. Let's roll this around. It does come across, no, just above that. So there's that line just above it that we need to keep as well. And we also need to keep the line just inside of that so we can actually spray the black on that fin. So we need some very thin tape just through there. The square, oh yes, you can just make that square out just over here. I think what we'll do there is we'll just make up another sticker like we used to do on the last build where I showed you how to make stickers, and put it on there, and that should keep that. Further down here, after we put the line on, the line's now been on for a good few days, so we just need to cut that out as well while we're mucking around with it, preparing it for the next colour. And what else is here? So there it is on the opposite side. Try and get a better view there. It's having a little bit of trouble focusing. So there's our square again on the other side and that line. So what I'm actually thinking is I've got some 2mm Tamiya tape here, and I might actually start off from here and roll all the way around, and that should probably just about get rid of that fin. I'm not sure if it's 2mm. I might actually measure that. I also just gave the lens a bit of a clean because it looked like it was struggling to focus. So what have we got here? As a matter of fact, that is not 2mm, that is 3mm. So I don't have 3mm tape, so I'm going to have to make up my own strip. But at least now we know what the strip's got to be. So here we are with my trusty green tape once again. I will get my pencil out, we'll mark off 3mm and I'll chop it off. So there's our approximate 3mm line. I've also cut 2 different strips because you've heard me say in the past that big strips are hard to put on because they get stuck all over the place. And because we are got some tight areas here in a round circle, just the smaller strips will do. So we'll end up with 3 little strips out of here. I'll cut that out. So that is now cut, and I'll just raise the corner here. And there should be our strip. One of our strips. Here we go. So how did we go? Let's have a look. Yeah. I've got to be really careful about this because I can't really put this down because of the other fin. So I kind of have to put it on a bit like that. So we're picking up the corner of that line and pretty much just running all the way through now. Just through there. If you're not happy with it, you can always run another line. Not too sure if I'm happy with that, to be honest. Let me just have another look. So several stickers later, I finally managed, because I was cutting 4mm, which I'll still use those, because I can also use those to patch it up. So we needed a 3mm sticker. Oh, where are we? And there's our 3mm sticker. So that's no problem. So I'll start to put that on. So there it is, partly laid out. We're catching the line this way. I could be a fraction under there, but I don't mind that because I'm going to put another sticker down this way anyway. We've got the 3mm on the line there, and we're just trying to carry that line all the way through this other end. Oh, sorry, all the way through this other end. So I'll just, I think we need to just come down just a fraction. That's it. Oh, you're not even on the line there. On the camera, sorry. I think that's our line there. So there's our first sticker on, and I'll continue around the nose. Actually, while I've got a really good 3mm strip, I'll continue with the other side. I'll try and do this one on the camera. So, number one, I like the other edge a little bit better. So we need to start it off. I just need to nudge it a little more closer. That's it. About there. It's pretty much on the line. Now we'll just double check this line. And that's our line there, and we'll just roll that one back around. So there's our sticker on the other side. Rolling around. We'll make sure it's set home just by rubbing it down. Now we'll continue it along. Sorry. Now we'll continue it along and put that around the nose. So there it is, I've started it off and we're carrying the line through, and now I just kind of need to continue that line all the way around. Gee, I'm finding this really difficult to do on the camera. So yeah, because it is going around a curve that kind of wants to fall backwards, you are going to get some lift just here. Not too worried about the lift. What I mean lift is the tape wants to stay straight, but the ship goes this way, so you're going to get a bit of a lip. And what we'll do is we'll work that lip around, but right now we just need to send this one home to match up with the other tape line. Just like that. That worked out pretty good actually. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Okay. And again, you really want to work that line, seal that off. So that's the top edge all done. And what I'll do now is I'll just slowly work this and crinkle that all the way back in to match. So then what we'll have a white line here, and we'll have what will be our red line here and our black. So I'll just work that edge just a little bit. I thought I should probably show you this. So basically I'm just going to go along and just kind of pat it back, and you'll see it wants to crinkle, but that's okay. We'll just let it crinkle. Now we'll just work the edge, and eventually it'll find its own fault. At the same time, I'm not trying to scratch the ship up either, so yeah, that's it. And the more it goes down, then the more you can work those extra little crinkles out. And they will work out, they will squash down onto themselves. So you just need to spend a little bit of time doing that, because otherwise that could cause a leak and you'll get overspray down there. So spend as much time as you need to work that, like I will, and then I'll come back when I finished it. I was thinking to myself just while I was doing this, if you're not confident in doing this, what I'm doing now, you could use your 1mm line to pretty much place your line down that will handle the corner, and then you could put this stuff up on top of your 1mm line, and that could make your job a whole lot easier. I'm quite happy to do it like this, and I'm probably going to spray down that way anyway, away from the line. I will probably hit still dead on, but I'm not trying to shoot it up underneath. So that's what I'm going to do there. So I'm pretty happy with that line. So we need to put the line right across the back now. And we can use our 4mm line for that. Actually, we do need one more strip of 3mm just to get past those fins. So I'll quickly cut another one up. So now I have a couple more strips there, and I will put on just where around those fins, because they're about 3mm the other way too. So we need to start that one off. I'll just place that one to get started. So I've just cut another line. I had to cut a little bit thinner. 3mm was too much behind the fin, so I had to do 2mm there. Sorry about that. I struggled to get this corner correct and on the line. What I ended up doing was I put the line slightly over this one, and then I just kind of dragged it back till it was on the corner to match the corner right up. I'll give you a close-up of that one. So that's what I was talking about there. And then I just sort of up on the line and roll it over. So we're just going to continue that line through. And now I'll work that line back this way to match up with that one there. So now we have that line started off and just working it back around. And what we'll do now is we'll just match that one in with this one. And it should match in just nicely. If it doesn't, you'll have to rework it till it does. So what we have there now is our outline done. So this is all to keep the red. So this is the sub the right way up, and we want to keep this red. So, and we do want to keep the fins. So I have to put tape across those, and we need to fill all of this in there with the tape. So I think what I'll do is I'll get a few more bits and pieces, like even these ones here, because we're trying to keep the fin. So maybe I should just cover the fin. Actually, I'll put one here first. Well, I've just done what I didn't want to do. I've just knocked the fin off. I'm trying to re-glue it again. I placed the glue down while the tape was there, and the tape has now smudged it. And I show you the good, the bad, and everything with all my builds. So what this means is I'm going to have to now go back and re-glue this properly, wait a little bit and retouch it up with paint, wait a little bit and then put the tape back. So I think what we'll do now, I won't end it just yet, but I will finish doing the repairs and I'll come back and show you where we were at the stage before I knock that fin off. It does need to be repainted. It's just, we need to keep some of that red there, and yeah, it's just, yeah, I'm disappointed, but you know, that's modelling for you. So okay, I'll come back shortly. Well, there it is, glued back on, and it's been repainted, and I repainted the other side as well. So we're kind of back to where we were, and I'll just put that tape back, but I'll do that offline because I don't want to knock it off again. So now we're back to where we were before I knocked that fin off. So what I'll do, I know the video is getting a little long. I'll go ahead and cover all of this. And I think what I'll do is I'll come back and I'll show you what we're going to do on the squares here. So there's tape either side of the fin. So the fin is fully covered all the way around now. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So there's the fin on the other side covered up. We'll continue to cover the whole nose. So just adding a few more layers now, and because it's coming around a curved surface, they do have to be in small bits and pieces just to keep coming around. So there we have our nose piece covered up, a couple of big pieces of tape. Yeah, they crinkled up, and then we put a couple of pieces over to cover up the holes. So that is now all covered up on the nose piece, which of the pieces we want to keep. We now have two more of those squares, and I've got a funny feeling they are, how many mil are they? They are, is it 10 mil? Or it could be a little bigger than 10 mil. I'll come back in a second. So they are 7 mil by 7 mil square. So I'll cut up two stickers that are 7 mil by 7 mil. So there I have two squares cut out, 7 by 7. There is one of them, and now I'll place it on the ship. So there's our square on there on one side. So there is the other side. Now we just got to do the top of the fins. When I mean the top of the fins, I mean we need to keep that paint, so we just need to put some tape over it so no black will get on there. So there we have it. We have the nose all covered up, the fins covered up only on one side. We have the square in there, and anything else that's not covered up now will now get painted in the darker color. It's not really black. I know I said black a minute ago. It is kind of like a darky grey. It's an unusual color. I've never used it before, so I'm curious to see what it comes up like. That's what I've chosen for this. So that's now ready for the next color, but we have gone overtime on this episode because of knocking the fin off and the repainting and everything else. So what we'll do, we'll call this episode here. I hope you're enjoying this episode as well. And I'll come back on the next one and we'll put the darker color on. Okay, thanks for watching and bye for now. Bye.